All right, so we just finished recording quite an extensive video with Phil Villeneuve, our Salomon rep, and I think you're gonna like it. We initially were recording this for our staff, but I think those of us who are cyclists but maybe want to dabble into cross-country skiing, you're gonna find this video or the series of videos to be very helpful for understanding how skis are made and how they can help you out. And so our gift to you, you get to go behind the scenes and learn what the staff learn about skis. All right, well, I'm here with Phil Villeneuve. Phil is our Salomon rep, and we thought it would be very helpful to go through what the Salomon skis are for this year, things that are carried over, things that are brand new, and to help us get our customers and get you on skis this summer. Oh my gosh. That's where we're going.
Winter's here.
Winter is here.
Just about.
The snow is coming. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to help everybody get on skis this winter, enjoy it more, because there's lots of mistakes that we can make and some really simple things that we can do to actually really enjoy being outside in the winter on skis.
Yeah, and I'll just cover essentially the fundamentals of how a ski is built, just to kind of help you understand a little bit of what the science that goes, the R&D that goes in behind the ski construction. Then we'll talk about the different categories, elements of the cross-country ski, the bases, the grip, the shape of the ski, construction, all the things that matters to the skier and how it improves or how it makes it more efficient moving on snow. And then we'll go through a few of the models, the updates for 2025, and take it from there. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, just before we go into all that fun stuff, how do you come into being a ski rep? Like, what's your background? What are your street creds?
Yeah, what are my street creds? I grew up as a cross-country skier. I started as a jackrabbit through the jackrabbit program through my youth and jackrabbit racers.
So jackrabbits is what?
Jackrabbit is a national program that essentially gets kids into skiing, connected to your local club. They have the Jackrabbit program here in Winnipeg as well.
Yeah, there's a number of clubs, I think.
Oh yeah, across Canada. It's kind of your first stepping stone into this cross-country ski world. Then you can graduate to racing rabbits, and then into your local club racing scene, provincial team, and so there's a whole segment set up within the country to graduate if you are interested in racing, for that matter. So
and so you started at Jackrabbits.
Yeah, and then I caught the bug and loved racing, loved moving fast on skis, and moved up to racing with my club back in Ottawa, and eventually made the provincial team, then moved on to the National Development Center in Thunder Bay. And then qualified for national team. And so I raced the World Cup circuit for quite a few years. And throughout that whole, I was going to school a little bit, and then somehow along the way, an opportunity came up to start selling cross-country skis. So I thought, hey, share my passion of the sport with selling the gear. So what more could I ask for? So here I am 12, 13 years later, and still enjoying what I do every day.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we sell Salomon skis, and lots of that has to do with Phil being a really good partner for us, helping us to provide some of the world's best skis to people who need world-class skis, but also people who just need to enjoy skiing out there.
Yeah, and the reality is, most of the population, it's all about the getting outside, enjoying the sport. So that recreational to sport aspect is our biggest selling category. And but we're certainly growing on the World Cup stage at the performance level. We've got everybody makes great skis ultimately, and so it's I'm here to essentially. Just give you a little bit of details on what makes our own skis go fast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. So where are we going to start today?
Yeah, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of the fundamentals, and we'll get ready to dive in.
Sure.
So to kick things off, first it's important to understand how a ski is made. So most of our skis come from within Europe. So we have two factories. Our entry-level skis from beginner to sport level are made in Bulgaria, and our performance skis are made in Austria. But the process, ultimately, everything is designed in France, in Annecy. That's where the research team builds all the skis. And then once they figure out the perfect recipe, the construction or production of that, manufacturing of the skis goes to the respective factories. So essentially they duplicate the machines, they'll build it all in Annecy, and that's the same for all the Salomon categories, whether it's footwear, alpine, snowboard, all the research development happens in France, and then farms out the production to their own factories within the respective countries. Okay. So how do they make a ski? Well, pretty lightweight and pretty amazing product. There's a lot that goes into a ski, so here are some of the very basics, and try and understand, and this will help understand ultimately how a ski works for you. So they imagine this big, I always compare it to a big waffle maker. So as funny as it sounds, it's like putting all the ingredients in this big press, or imagine this big waffle maker, and we're layering everything down. The press comes down, and ultimately out comes two cooked skis, and from there it goes on to their flex test machine, and then right onto the wall. So just to dive in a little bit deeper, ultimately they will start with the first layer, so the base, so the graphite base will go down first, and then they're putting a layer of glue in between every layer, so fiberglass will change the core of the ski, and then another layer of fiberglass or two, or even some carbon laminates that they use. And then the final step is the cap construction. So this is actually one piece. So one laminate that would be on the top, including the graphic. And then in between all there's some glue layers, and then they literally press it all down. Skis are made in pairs. But because there's a handmade process of layering that glue down, that resin down, there's always little subtleties from one pair to another. So just because they're made in pairs doesn't mean that they are actually a pair.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, and then they can set the camber of the ski, so that spring-loaded feature that's built into the ski, that actually stems right from the core.
Camber. So
correct.
So that's kind of like a bow.
Exactly. Yeah. And one of the cores that we use at the entry level, actually throughout the pretty much 3/4 of the range, and this is an accepted core material for all the manufacturers. It's a synthetic core. In the name of this one is called Densolite, and Densolite actually comes in a bit of a paste format, and then it's chemical reaction where it actually builds up into, imagine a big block of this really dense material, synthetic material. And what they do is they actually laser cut a ski out of that big block.
Okay.
So when it comes out, you literally have almost like a naked ski, and it's in the shape, it's got a built-in camber. It's a little floppy because it's just a standalone material, right? And then what changes is actually the wrap around that ski. So when I go back to my production process and I'm layering all these components down, so the base goes down, fiberglass, then they put that Densolite core, that shape of the ski, another layer of fiberglass, cap top on top, layers of glue in between each, press it down, and voila, you've got essentially a ski that comes out that's in a rigid format. So the cores of the skis that we use there's actually not a lot of strength in these. What gives the ski the strength is that, one, the shape of the ski, and the wrap that encloses that core. Okay. So throughout the range, from your entry level ski, whether it's an Escape 51, a 48, or even right up to the S-Max, we're using the density of the core does not change. What changes is the wrap. So you've got a layer of fiberglass, 2 layers of fiberglass, carbon laminate, carbon fiber, all of that ultimately. So if you're in store and comparing from one ski to another, what makes that ski go up in price, one of those components is that wrap around the core. So the cost, that's inevitably going to happen in every floor ski store. So what changes is that wrap, and so it costs more money to have carbon laminate. What does that mean to the skier? It means that the ski will respond a little bit more.
Okay.
So stepping in and out of the track, in a snowplow, around a corner. If I'm skiing with you, Rob, and you crash in front of me, I want to dodge you as efficiently as possible and as quickly as possible. So if that ski is going to respond better, listen to you when you tell it to move one way, if there's a better, higher quality wrap around that ski. Okay?
Okay.
So once the ski is done, then in terms of the, comes out of the press, today we were making, for example, a ski that is, and we stamp our ski with all the weights on here, usually on the top of the binding, and they will target a specific weight range every production run. So today they're making a ski on that specific weight, and they will set the gauges to adjust the camber of the ski based on what they're producing.
Oh, okay.
And as I said...
So there's a different camber even for the different weights of
Correct,
skis.
exactly. So typically...
Or different weight rating, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So typically the general rule is shorter skis have a softer camber, longer skis have a stiffer camber.
Okay.
And then there's subtleties within that range. So we've given quite a broad range. So this is a ski that's 174 centimeters, and it's rated for 88 to 121 pounds. Quite a wide range, or 40 to 55 kilos. So it's a 15 kilo spread to just try and fit as many people as possible in this range.
Okay.
A longer ski would have a little bit of overlap with this weight range, but also extend to a little wider, and so on. All right?
And like this rating then is important because you want to get a person on the right weight rating of ski rather than the right length of ski, primarily.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. So for classic skis, super important, we want to match the skier to the right ski.
Okay.
And a ski doesn't know how tall you are. So the old school way of measuring the skis where it goes up to your wrist, well, the ski doesn't know how tall you are, but it does know how heavy you are.
Right.
So hopefully not too many pastries this year, Rob. Maintain that weight.
I ride extra if I'm eating pastry.
It's okay. I like pastries. Ultimately, so the weight is the primary factor in selecting skis. So don't be offended if we ask for your weight. It's strictly for the purpose of matching up the skis and making sure that you have a good experience on snow. So the way the ski works ultimately is when my weight is 50-50 on the ski, that camber that's pre-built into the ski will hold my weight up above the kick zone. Okay. So in theory, if the ski is matched properly for me, this kick zone denoted by the skin here, it could be fish scales, it can be your old waxable surface. That kick zone is not going to touch the snow when my weight is evenly distributed on the ski.
Right.
So only when I transfer my weight onto one ski, now I'm compressing the kick zone and allows me to push forward.
Okay.
So super important to match your weight to the right ski.
Gotcha.
All right. What's going to happen if you sell me a ski that's too stiff?
You're probably never going to get any kick.
Yeah, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to be very angry at you because you sold me a ski that was way too stiff.
Yeah.
Alternatively, if you've got a ski that's too soft for you, which is common with older skis as well, over the years, regardless of the materials we're using, the skis tend to just get tired. All right, we all get tired. Skis get tired too, and after 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. There's skiers hold on to gear for like 30 years sometimes. I hear it all the time. Oh, these skis great. They ski awesome. Well, chances are that camber has just lost a little bit of its, spring over the years.
Should we show the ones we brought in?
We can show an example.
Okay.
For sure.
So So we're not shaming anybody here. This is not somebody's skis, although I could have brought my old skis, but they're somewhere else. So what's happened to these skis is you can see, like, I'm just pressing. I'm hardly putting any pressure on there. Do I need to get a little closer? Okay. Right, so we've got that space there. And then if I press in, now they're completely flat. Both skis are flat. And if you weigh more than about 15 pounds, you'll just be running on that wax zone. So these are waxable skis, but
yeah,
it's the same or worse for
regardless of the kick zone that you have, skins, grip,
right,
waxable, etc. So alternatively, you can see just by, there's already a little bit more extensive camber built in, and I actually have to put quite a bit of effort to compress the ski, which would replicate your body weight in this case. Now, skis, again, shorter skis, softer. We're comparing a little bit of apples and oranges here, but ultimately you get the idea of skis get tired.
It's an older ski, but it just means that if you're thinking of getting into cross-country skiing, and somebody's asking you, well, I don't want to make the big commitment. Like it seems really expensive to get all new setup. If you're looking at used cross-country skis, you've got to do that squeeze camber test, because if you're too heavy for those skis, you're actually never going to get any glide.
Yeah.
And if like these skis, they take wax. You can do whatever you want in terms of wax. In about 10 minutes, you won't have any wax on there anyway, because the snow will just rub it off like sandpaper.
Yeah, exactly. So moral of the story, matching up body weight to the right ski, and having, sort of refreshing your skis on a semi-regular basis, budget approving your yearly budget, or maybe not a yearly, but whatever. You get the idea. Just good the skis have changed so much over the years. New technology all the time. Cambers are even able to be, to hold their shape for longer now.
Okay.
And even from one year to the next, there's massive changes. Maybe not so much at the recreational sport area, but category, but certainly on the race side, minor tweaks. You're always seeing athletes, for example, racing on the latest, greatest. There's a reason for that. It's because ski quality and performance is going up every single year. Okay. So they're not racing on old skis anymore. So, right. And for the day-to-day skier, it's the same thing. It's about efficiency. Right. If we're going skiing and you've got a pair of 30-year-old skis and I'm on a fresh pair, chances are I'll be a little bit more efficient on snow.
That's right.
So there you go.
I get to if you're on more efficient skis, you get to the coffee break sooner than I do.
There you go.
Or you're always waiting for me.
Yeah.
So maybe I want to be on less efficient skis so I can just stay warm.
Yeah. So how do we match that that perfect ski to the skiers? Well, right after the big waffle makers come down and the ski is cooked up and we've got a fresh pair of skis made up, every single ski individually gets digitally flexed through our flex test machine. Okay. So it's all connected. Essentially, it's a big chain line. Ski comes out, gets digitally flexed, and out pops the genetic code of the ski. So every ski gets a little genetic code.
Okay.
That's where we put that info on the QR codes. So if anything ever happens on the ski, you get the QR code, gives you all that information.
So that QR code is specific to this ski?
Correct.
Okay.
To this ski, and then the other ski will have a different code as well, because it's slightly different in terms of flex, even though they were made as a pair. Now, this is more of a manufacturer tool as opposed to, it's not a consumer tool, but just more of an. So once the ski is digitally flexed, out comes the My Custom Ski sticker, and this is, like I said, the genetic code of that ski. Now this will give you a ton of information, but ultimately we keep it super simple to make it sizing, so almost eliminating the use of the paper test that we use for sizing skiers like we did in the past. The
paper test.
The paper test, yes.
What was the paper test?
The paper test is where you stood on the skis, and again, that camber keeping your weight up,
Yeah.
And so you can find the top and the bottom of your kick zone.
So you literally take a piece of paper and
Yeah.
slide it under there and mark
Exactly.
where the kick zone
Yeah.
was.
So I would
Okay.
stand here on your floor. You would take like a business card, slide it forward until there's contact, slide it back until there's contact, and then that's the length of your pocket.
Okay.
And then to make sure that the ski closes properly, then I would ask you to shift on one leg, shift like 70-80% of your body weight on one leg.
Yeah.
And then we want to achieve full closure. So then underfoot, you would try to pull that piece of paper. And if you can't pull it out, we're getting good closure, we're getting good contact, ski is good for you. If we're getting too much movement, then we got to find a ski that's a little bit softer. So the pocket might be good, but we're still not able to close that ski, which is the important part for classic skiing. Yeah. So we've summed all that up and put it on this fancy little information sticker here. And ultimately, if you're in the dark gray box, the ski will work for you.
Okay.
So in theory. So, so you've got kilos on one side, you got pounds on the other, and you've got literally all of our skis have this a little dark gray box, so you, the consumer, can come ultimately and just get an idea. But it's super easy for the staff to explain as well, and making the selection process a little easier, a little friendly. So now, what's interesting is that I talked about the stamped weight range on the ski. So this is what they were targeting. Ultimately. But once the ski actually got digitally flexed, this is the true weight range of that ski. So there's always a bit of discrepancy, and that's kind of normal. It's part of the process. But it just goes to show we're essentially narrowing the window of selection, where this was a 15 kilo spread on this particular ski, 37 to 43. I need your glasses, Rob, almost on here.
Yeah, that's
37
right.
to 43.
Yeah.
So narrowing that spread down
it's
to 6 kilos. So a little bit more precise, making sure that that ski is going to fit for the right customer.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So this changes the game too, in terms of, is it best to get your skis early in season or late in season?
Yep.
If you wait until late in season, it's much harder for us to match up that little label.
Exactly.
And then as a result, then sometimes we're just going by this and trying to get you close.
Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, you've got a great selection of skis, so it's early in the season. Always a good time to get the best selection on the wall.
For sure, until Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to
Perfect.
It's going to be good.
All right. So that's it. So that's kind of your main components there. Like I said, as you go up the range, so we'll start. We have a variety of models throughout the range, but ultimately, the sales staff will talk to the customer, and there's always a better option. And so what else is better? So we talked about, so the production is the same, the wrap around that core is ultimately what's going to change from one ski to another. So entry-level skis will usually have, in between the core, we'll have fiberglass layer, so a fiberglass layer underneath and a fiberglass layer on top. As you go up the range, they'll take 2 layers of fiberglass and sort of do a cross weave.
Okay.
And then upgrade from that is a carbon laminate, so mixing carbon fiber and fiberglass together.
Okay.
And then even up to pure carbon fiber laminates as well. So what does that mean ultimately is that the ski will listen to you a little bit more on the trail as you're going downhill. So we're stepping in and out of the track, we're getting in a snowplow, we're turning a corner.
Right.
We want that ski to respond. So as you go up higher in the range, as the price goes up on the ski, that's a big component of what changes.
So they're putting better technology in
around
they're
the
lightening
wrap of
things
that.
up.
Exactly. So it's lighter, it's more responsive, more maneuverable, and ultimately just a better experience. So that's a big part of what you're getting.
Right. So when we're upselling somebody from a $300 ski to a $500 ski, what they're getting is better control, a better base, all the little things just get better.
Exactly.
Right. You still have a fantastic ski.
Yep.
But all the little things just start to get better.
Exactly. So core, wrap around the core is one component. Next component is the base that we're using from one ski to the other. So Salomon keeps it simple. We have a 1 to 5 level.
Okay.
G1, so G graphite is the main ingredient in the base, in our bases. We call it G1, will be your entry level. G5 is your top end World Cup level base. So what changes? So what makes, you would tell me, oh, well, ski has got a better base. I have no idea what that means.
Right.
So I'll tell you what that means.
Okay.
Ultimately, it's the ability to retain more wax. So not everybody likes to wax skis, but ultimately, if you choose to wax your skis, it's kind of like changing the oil on your car. It's a good thing to do. It'll make the ski glide with more efficiency.
I couldn't believe how much difference it made when I started paying attention to the glide wax on my
exactly.
skis.
And they've made gliding, it used to be this big fancy process, but now it's super easy. There's a lot of liquid gliders, almost like a bingo dabber style,
Right.
Where you're just alcohol based, where you literally just paint it onto the base of the ski. Alcohol evaporates and you're left with a film of wax.
Right.
Or you can hot wax skis, or you can even bring it into the shop and let the pros do it. So,
Yep. We like to do that too.
Yeah. So ultimately, a better base quality will retain more wax when you choose to put that liquid glider or hot wax onto your ski. And the other is
And so it holds the wax better?
correct. Yeah. Ultimately, in the base, it's actually a chemical reaction. When you heat up the wax will actually adhere to the base. Okay. And think of the base as having all these little carbon receptors. Okay. And so as you're heating it up, a better base quality will have more receptors. So it'll create more bonds on the base and hold onto that wax more efficiently and longer as well. Okay. So an entry-level base that we often put on entry-level skis, but also there's not as many receptors, but ultimately here this user, maybe they don't have time, won't pay as much attention as they should. It will absorb.
Yeah. They're a school or
they're just busy. Exactly. There's you just want a low maintenance ski, and it's a great price point, and it gets you outside. Ultimately, the focus on these entry, like a G1, is durability. Okay. We want it to last a long time. So
you're putting your kids' skis on in the parking lot, and they're going through the parking lot with their skis on.
Exactly.
Got it.
And so we actually have here those kid skis. So kid skis will bump, jump, crash, etc. So we want a ski that's super durable for them, nice and lightweight with that synthetic core, and but that G1 base on here. And actually, we add the information on all the tails of our skis. So there you go, base G1.
G1.
Yeah. Okay. So a nice, durable, low maintenance base for the kiddos. And keeping them, on a nice, fun ski. And we barely get any, just to attest to their durability, barely get any warranty claims on these at all. So, which is pretty cool. By the way, warranty, Salomon offers 2-year warranty on all manufacturer defects. So if something goes wrong with your ski, we got you covered for a couple of years. So there you go.
2-year warranty.
Yeah.
That's useful to know.
Yeah. So as you go up into a G2, then you start absorbing a little bit, retaining a little bit more wax. And again, what that means is efficiency. It's not about going fast. It's about putting less effort, ultimately, in every push. You're going to glide just a little further.
So you can go on longer skis for the same effort.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you've got a G1, I've got a G2, and we're both putting the same amount of effort, in theory, I'll be outgliding you and leaving you behind.
I think you'll be outgliding me most days anyway. Let's not beat around the bush.
But ultimately, we're bringing that quality of the top G5 right down to the sport level as well. Okay. So you'll see it down. Salomon's a number system, so we do our 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, etc., 10. And then we get into our World Cup level skis, S Max, S Race, S Lab at the top of the pyramid. So that G5 base will trickle right down to the 8 level in some cases. So
So an RC8 or an RS8.
yeah,
or
exactly. They're having that top end base
Okay.
because we want to bring that efficiency to the customer. Okay. All right. So what else changes? We talked about the core of the ski, the base. The other big difference is the shape of the ski, and that will define a big part of, what you're actually going to settle on in terms of a new pair of skis. So from beginner to sport level, we offer the customer a shaped ski. So we call it S-cut, doesn't matter. Ultimately, it's a wider tip, a wider tail, and a pinching a little bit narrower at the waist or heel of the ski, okay? Now, what does that do for the skier? Ultimately, two things. One, it provides a nice stable platform for that beginner skier, so a much more stable ski. Skiing is already hard enough as it is, so we try to make it easier. So having that nice stable, and it's a pretty subtle side cut. We're talking about a 48 millimeter tip going right down to 44. So it's only a 4 mil, but it's enough in the cross-country ski world to really make a difference and improve that stability.
You see it a lot more in the downhill skis, I guess.
Absolutely, and that leads to my second benefit to having a shaped ski is maneuverability.
Okay.
Now, we don't carve like we do on alpine or snowboards, but we do maneuver a lot. Like I said, in and out of the track, snow plowing, around corners, dodging you on the trail when you crash in front of me.
Yep. Inevitable.
Yep. And so we want that ski to work for us on the trail, and having that shape makes life easier. Imagine skiing, if you're a downhill skier, skiing back in the day with those straight cut skis, you have to work a lot. Now they pretty much carve themselves on the hill. Well, straight cut skis were a little tougher to maneuver for sure. So for beginners to sport level, we offer that shape ski. So they're definitely a feature to look for in a new pair of ski, and probably one that makes the biggest difference overall. Okay?
Right.
As we get into the performance segment, then from the 8 level up, in this case, I'll use the S-Max, or even our skate skis are like this. Here we're looking at a straight cut ski. So this skier, like yourself, for example, a lot of your customers are cyclists. They have an active background.
Like to go fast.
They like to go fast. So for them, the shaped component might be a little too, it'll be great to learn on if you're a brand new skier, but once you get the hang of it after a couple times, you're kind of like, almost like you're on a governor a little bit. You want to, you're being held back.
You watch the guy go past you,
and
you just want to catch him, but you just can't.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So we want to make sure that we open up that top end for those customers that want a little bit more performance out of their skis. So we give them a straight cut ski. So same dimension on the tip, the waist, the tail. Right out of the box in the track, the ski is going to glide way more efficiently and ultimately a lot faster.
Yeah, when I moved from the shaped skis to straight skis, I was as fast as I'd been 10 years younger.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
It's free speed ultimately by going to a shape ski. Now it's going to be a little harder to learn on if you're coming off, if you're a cyclist, for example, and you don't really have a whole lot of technical ability. You're coming fresh. Somebody told you, try cross country skiing in the winter because it's too cold to bike in Winnipeg.
It'll be fun, they said.
Yeah. Then certainly, learning the first few times takes a little bit to get your balance, your technique. But once you've gotten out 2, 3, 4 times, then ultimately the ski will start working positively for you on the track. So the other thing a performance ski will do, where shape skis will have a lower camber, that skier typically, we need to give them as much love as possible, so making it easy. So maybe your weight transfer is not super great. Maybe you're just kind of shuffling on snow where there isn't much weight transfer. So we've made that camber on these entry-level skis very shallow and easy to kick. So it doesn't take a whole lot of effort to compress these.
And that's probably, going back to this, that's probably that small little window.
Yep, exactly.
Of weight range.
Whereas on the performance segments of straight cut skis, you're going to have a little higher camber by default. So here we're looking at somebody that has a little bit more possibly a little bit better technique, a little bit more active-minded. So it's easy. You're going to put more energy into closing that ski much more easier. So, yeah. So ultimately, trademarks or little characteristics of a performance ski: a little faster out of the box, higher camber, a little bit more dynamic reactivity as well. Okay.
Great. Yep.
All right. So we talked about the core, we talked about the base, the shape of the ski. Those are kind of the main factors. What else do you get as you go up the range? Well, we touched on it before. The skin skis have really come onto the market strong, where in the past all we did was sell waxable skis. So the kick zone will offer 3 options. So your standard waxable, which would be a smooth kick zone where you put just traditional kick wax, cork it in, put multiple layers, match it to the temperature. And if you matched it to the temperature, which is great and easy when it's really, really cold, but gets a little tricky sometimes in warm weather, right?
Right.
So for that purpose, when it gets tricky, we have the fish scale or grip zone. So, excuse me.
Yep.
Dodging obstacles here.
Can I hold something?
Yep, there you go. So your fish scale or grip, usually you're looking at a very long kick zone, again, to maximize that weight range. And these are cut patterns into the base that create a sharp edge. And they work exactly the same. I'll put my weight 50-50 on the ski. This zone, in theory, will not touch the snow as I'm gliding.
Right.
Only when I shift my weight onto the ski will the grip fish scale contact the snow, and I can propel myself forward. Okay.
So then, if you've got this kind of ski and you're starting to hear that zip, 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 then it's probably you've lost your camber, and it might be time to look at new skis.
They definitely do make a bit of a zipping sound, especially going down hills, and because that kick zone is so long, you're definitely going to lose a bit of efficiency in movement because they try to cover as many weight ranges as possible. So when I'm standing on that weight, 50-50, if you're getting the zipping sound, it's because you're ultimately getting a little bit of the front end of the kick zone and the back end of this kick zone that's touching the snow. And that's why it's making that zipping sound down the hill. So it's quite distinctive, so you'll definitely know for sure. The other, over the years, so after 5-10 years, these little cut patterns in the base, they start to round off. So these sharp edges that are getting you great kick, they will wear out like anything, right? Especially on older transformed snow that you have here in Winnipeg. Icy conditions, it'll make those edges round out a little bit, and eventually you lose that kick efficiency. So good to keep in mind to refresh your kick, because there's no way to retool this. It's like once it's worn, you pretty much need a new pair of skis.
And I'm guessing that these ones all will use. Oh, this is a G2. Okay, so a G2 or a G1 for that fish scale base.
Yep.
And that makes them hard. That makes the base harder, so that it's going to hold that.
Correct.
That.
So you're still getting a great base. We're not trying to maximize the glide efficiency. But at keeping the price down on this ski with the fish scale option.
Gotcha. Okay. Are there other reasons besides durability that people will go with a fish scale?
Usually it's a price point decision. It's that's where we put our entry-level products and to make it accessible for everybody. So if budget is an issue, then this is a great option. It'll do the job and get you outside enjoying the sport.
Perfect. Okay.
And but of course, you're going to try to upsell somebody to the fancy new skin. So the skin is essentially the evolution of the grip zone. So it is noiseless. It works in all conditions from minus bazillion to Winnipeg cold.
Minus Winnipeg to...
minus Winnipeg to plus 10. So although the snow doesn't last very long when it hits plus 10.
Not here.
So these are essentially micro little hairs on the skin. Imagine a very thin carpet that's been embedded into the kick zone.
Embedded. So I can't just take my old skis and put one of these things on here?
Correct. Yeah. So there's a couple factors.
Because we're going to get asked.
I know. Everywhere there's a very resourceful skiers out there.
Yeah,
So,
Dremels.
yeah. So there's a couple reasons why that doesn't work. One, it's essentially receded into the base. So it's like a piece of puzzle. So the skin sits ultimately flush with the base, and these little micro hairs kind of just stick out just enough. And that height has been adjusted, so when they build the ski, they know they are building a skin-specific camber. So they're allowing for a little extra space underfoot so that you have that good kick-to-glide ratio when you are in glide phase, okay? So if you're putting a skin, you can buy these, there's a couple reasons why they're great. One, they're user replaceable, so you could replace it at home. For a set, it's like $45, $50 for the Salomon skins. And ultimately, when they are worn down, which I'll get to in a little bit, you can replace it at home or bring it to the shop and get you guys to replace it here. So the main question we get is, how long does the skin last? Skin will last for, it's very subjective because it depends on the skier, where you're skiing, the type of snow, so ultimately these hairs will start to pull off as you ski, as you hit these abrasive surfaces, and so they'll start balding a little bit. So a recreational skier probably wouldn't have to replace it for 3 to 5 years-ish. But a performance skier on a more like the RC8, S-Max, etc., will ski more often. They'll be a little bit more aggressive. They may have to switch it sometimes once a year. Give or take. The best is just to keep an eye on it, and once you start to notice your kick quality fading, so you're starting to backslip or you can't go up that steep hill like you could anymore, that's a sort of a cue to say, okay, I might start thinking about replacing my skin. So good for you guys. When these are worn, they're very white. A lot of the hairs have come right off, and the base of the skin, it's like a white texture, starts to come through, and you start seeing just the lack of hairs that are there. So good for you guys to keep an old skin on reference, and so customers can come in the shop and go, okay, my skin looks like this, it's time to replace it, or I still got a bit of life, I'm good for another month or two, or finish the season before you replace it. I wouldn't recommend pulling these off, even though you can. I know it's hard, but I got a lot of dust and dirt and oils on my hand. Every time you pull this off, you manipulate the sticky part underneath. It's like a sticker, ultimately, like a backcountry skin. So the more you handle it, you can't really refresh that on skin, so we want to try to avoid. But ultimately, you do not need to pull it off until it's time to replace it.
Gotcha.
Some of our older skins, you'll see different colors in the Salomon world. Yellow, black, orange, pink, etc. Just different brand partnerships we've had over the years. We've sold a lot of skis with yellow skins. You might have some of your customers that have them, might still have some on the wall. That's okay. It's just a different brand, and we have those in stock. You'll have some here to replace those. Now, those are a little different where they were hot glued on. Okay. And so to remove it, it's a little bit more of a procedure with melting that glue that's on there. So we give you a little steel template. And
we've got that in store.
Exactly.
We can do it fairly quickly and easily.
But ultimately, my message is stick to the color that's on the ski. So if you've got a yellow skin, replace with a yellow. If you've got a blue skin, replace with a blue. All the skins from all the manufacturers of skis on the market are unique to that ski because of the way they built that skin to the camber. All right, so Salomon skins belong on Salomon skis.
Gotcha.
Fisher skins on Fisher skis, etc. We've tested all the shapes and sizes, tested the twin skin, tested straight, narrow, etc., longer, shorter, and we found that the best performance of this for this ski was this skin shape. And every brand is like that, hence why they're all different from different brands. So. So make sure you stick to your brand and color, ultimately.
Gotcha.
And ultimately, if you really decide, you know what, I don't care what Phil says, I don't care what Rob says, I'm going to buy some skins and I'm going to put it in on my old pair of skis. Knock yourself out. You just probably wasted $50. You'll put it on the base. It'll stick, and it might actually work. for a few times until it peels off. You know, and if you dremeled it yourself on an old pair, knock yourself out. Yeah, same sort of. You just won't have a clean.
Send us your photos because we'd love to see them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me know. We'll have a contest on how many times somebody can go out skiing before it peels off.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, there's a reason. There's a lot of technology that goes into this, so take our word for it. So yeah. Okay. Good on kick zones.
Think so. Yeah.
All right. Last but not least is the binding.
Okay.
Now, Solomon's gone through a lot of changes in the binding world. Again, we've finally now on the market, it is one system, the NNN or ProLink or, everybody's got their own name for the bindings. Turnamic is what I was thinking of here from Fisher and Rossi. Everybody's on the same platform, so everybody's playing nice, which is great. Same thing with the boots, at least in this sort of modern, the past 5 years kind of thing, it's been pretty steady. Salomon does have had, especially here in Winnipeg, lots of the Profil, the SNS Profil system. So super important whenever you're getting a new pair, if you're just getting boots, if you're just getting skis, matching up, making sure that you don't have old equipment that doesn't match with the new equipment.
Yeah. So that's why we recommend always, like, please bring in your skis.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that we get them right.
Yeah. So take a photo of your gear before you come to the shop, send it to Rob, or bring your old gear.
You can text it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Making sure that we've got a nice, clean fit on the ski and that your boot will actually fit. And if not, they'll size you up on some new boots, etc. But the bindings now, they're all coming with a bonded plate that's glued right onto the ski. It's not replaceable. It's basically bonded right from the factory. Mm-hmm. And all the parts are essentially a slide-on, toolless for us, which is kind of nice, and gives you the ability to move the binding back and forth and adjust and play with that kick zone a little bit. So ultimately, skiing with skin skis can sometimes be a little bit finicky depending on the conditions. You can have fresh snow, old snow, icy snow, etc. So the kick-glide ratio will change a little bit. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe I'm going from skiing on the golf course here in Windsor Park and going up north, hitting a different Nordic center which has a lot of hills, and I'm not used to hills, so I need a little extra love. So in that case, I would simply lift the lever, unlock the system, and 0 would be your general balance point. That's where we would advise you to start in ski gear. And then if you feel you need a little extra kick, just slide it forward and voila. It's as easy as that. If I need, feel like I'm dragging a little bit, like the skin is perhaps too grippy, maybe I'm carrying a pack today and I've got extra weight on, well, I'm gonna bring it back to -1 or -2. And you can adjust accordingly. So super easy. You never want to force anything, so the locking mechanism should just easily close.
If it's not going down easy.
If it's not going down, don't force it. Yeah, just jiggle the binding a bit. It'll be fine, and voila.
Okay.
And then on the back heel, you can adjust based on the size of the boot. So we want to make sure there's a nice flush and full contact, maximize that control. But ultimately here, very easy system. Just lift the back, if I can get my finger underneath, and then you just slide it from one. It'll come literally right off, but ultimately super easy to get it on there, and it just clicks into place.
Okay.
So, so that's a nice upgrade where we've gone from our entry, actually those skis you've got there, which are screwed in bindings.
Yep.
So you're getting great contact with the ski, but you don't have the ability to move the binding up and down to control your kick.
So no adjustment.
No adjustment, and that's why we've got a really long kick zone on these as well. Making sure there's no room for error. You're going to get good kick, but you don't have the ability. So an entry-level ski, we're keeping it into the bare bones in terms of features.
Yeah.
Your nice upgrade, you're upgrading to a skin. You're upgrading to a movable binding, a nice lightweight core, and so
and that's still a great price point too.
Absolutely,
$300.
$300 with the binding is a crazy deal. On these guys. Awesome.
Okay.
As you go up the range, so we've gone from your Escape 51, that's your entry into the sport.
Yeah.
I've been showcasing the Escape 48, which gets a little sportier, G2 base, nice lightweight core, good wrap in terms of fiberglass around the core of the ski and that movable binding.
Yeah.
And then stepping up to the RC8. Also, all of our skis include the bindings, ultimately. Here, the next upgrade is we're going to a carbon top sheet on this one. So carbon laminate, so it's a carbon fiber and fiberglass top sheet, so making the ski a little bit more responsive over the fiberglass.
Okay.
Double weave there. And
so
then
responsive means it's a little bit stiffer in places?
It's laterally stiffer. So the ski will listen to me when you crash in front of me on the downhills and I decide to step out of the track and get in my snowplow real quick to slow down. The ski's going to be a little bit more responsive that way. Okay. So same shaped feature as on the Escape 48.
Yep.
The biggest one is on the base of the ski. We're giving you a G4 base on here. So quite a bit more efficiency. It's going to retain faster out of the box. So even if you don't wax it, the ski's going to glide more efficiently.
Okay, interesting.
And if you do decide to give it some love, invest in a liquid wax or hot wax, then the ski will certainly retain a lot of wax for you as well, and making gliding quite a bit more efficient. So, so you're bumping up to 469 here.
Yeah.
And so definitely a few key upgrades that give you a really good value for the RC8
Right,
Plus.
but if you value speed or efficiency, then you're going to appreciate that RC8 Plus.
Correct. Yeah. So I would characterize it as a good beginner to sport model, but with quite a bit of extra little features to make your life a little bit more enjoyable on snow. You're going to glide more efficiently. The ski's going to respond a little bit better, and it's definitely worth the uptick in terms of the price point.
I think you can even feel a significant weight difference.
Absolutely.
Can't you?
Yep, for sure. Yep. Good. So that kind of covers, and then you've got a few other additions here that kind of fill in the blanks. Not everybody in the ski world can necessarily ski on a really long traditional ski.
Okay.
So there's a lot of skiers, if you're
built like a lumberjack.
or just shorter, stockier.
We got lots of Franco-Manitobans here, and they're stocky.
Ultimately,
okay, Dot's in the background now. She's laughing. Because you're thinking of all your Franco-Manitoban friends that in their spare time they chop a lot of lumber.
Ultimately, we can't sell. Well, the general rule, I should back up a little bit. General rule is a longer ski is a stiffer ski. So if you are short, stocky in stature and or heavier set, and you're automatically, we're going to have to bring you to the longest ski we have to hit the weight bracket. Like I said, the ski doesn't know how tall you are, it knows how heavy you are. So we've made the Snowscape, or the Escape Snow, same name, it's changed over the years, and this is a short ski design, so short and stiff. So instead of selling you a 206, which is going to be well above your head height.
Which is appropriate for my weight, but
exactly, but
not
kind
for my height.
Cumbersome to maneuver, right? You're a little shorter in stature. You're trying to move this really long ski. It's just not ideal. So for those skiers, we have this Snowscape. It comes in usually this is a small, medium, large, XL, double XL. So they top out at about the XL and the double XL top out about 193 centimeters. So about this high. A little shorter. And what they've done is the large, the XL, the double XL are all the same length, but they just get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer for the same length of ski.
Gotcha.
So it's a great solution. Ultimately, they've just adjusted, like I said, back to my press of making the skis. They just tweaked the camber to make it higher, higher, higher on the same length of ski.
Okay.
So it's a great little concept, awesome ski. A little bit wider too, so works really well for those heavier set skiers, but also works really well if the groomer didn't go out on the Monday morning, you want to go skiing on the golf course, you want something that floats a little bit better. So great for not well-groomed trails. If you're living out in the fields, the outskirts of Winnipeg, you have your own ski trails, you like going exploring, the Escape Snow is an awesome ski for that. So we give you an automatic binding that's screwed into the ski. So no maneuverability there, but it's a grip format as well, so you're guaranteed you'll have good kick no matter what the temperature is.
Yeah.
So,
Would you say that this is a useful ski for institutions or clubs?
yeah,
or
great for rental outfits, for schools, for clubs.
Anybody who goes skiing once a year is going to appreciate a shorter ski that
absolutely,
can be on the trails.
It's your entry into the cross-country ski world, and really those two solutions. So a traditional length, you're going to glide a little bit better with a longer ski, so you're sacrificing a bit of glide here.
Right.
But ultimately, so we'll always push you to a traditional length ski, and that's why there's so many in the range. But nice to have this short design as a backup, and so both options great for school, institutions, rental. First pair of skis is a great option here.
Fantastic.
All right, and then for those whizzy cyclist customers that you have, we certainly go into a few options here. So I'll bring out the three, and I'll give you the S-Lab rub to finalize that.
All right.
So here, again, we're talking about a straight cut ski, a little higher camber, a little bit more dynamic. So right out of the box, these things are going to be fast in the track. We've taken away that wider tip tail to remove any features that would slow down the ski, ultimately. So a little harder to learn on, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to get going on these. So what's the difference? So at the top of the pyramid is our S-Lab ski. This is the what our World Cup athletes on. This is what they're going to be skiing at the Olympics. And so here we update the core to a fancy paper fiber core. So that's essentially cardboard that's been dipped in resin for the most part. It looks like a wasp nest. So all the brands use this type of core in a variety of their own, like a construction of their own, but ultimately it's all kind of based on this cardboard kind of dipped in resin. The reason we use that core for higher end performance skis is because it's very responsive, very reactive, and it will give maximum responsiveness on the trail. So, and you can control the camber a little bit more, which at this level is super important. So it's your Ferrari on skis, very twitchy, stable, but very responsive, I should say, as a better qualifying characteristic.
So in the bike world, the difference between maybe an endurance road bike to what the pros are using to sprint for those fraction of a seconds at the finish line.
It makes a difference. And then subtleties in the base, the flex of the skis. We actually offer 3 flexes on the S-Lab level. So we'll have a universal flex, which covers you cold or warm. If the track condition is a medium to hard firmness, then the universal flex will work, whether it's warm or cold. If you've got a hard base that you're skiing on, which is typical of here, then the universal flex will be the ski for you. It's kind of like your one ski quiver. Then we also have a blue flex, which is more for cold with softer track, medium to soft track conditions. And we have a red flex, which is your stereotypical warm snow, wet snow, spring condition ski. And all the skis overlap a little bit. It doesn't pigeonhole you in every category, but for the most part, we have 3 distinct flexes available in the S-Lab Classic or the S-Lab Skate Ski.
So what you're saying is it wouldn't be uncommon for an elite level skier to have multiple skis in their, what you said, a quiver.
Most racers will have minimum half a dozen pairs per style. So they'll have at least 4 to 6 pairs of skate skis, 4 to 6 pairs of classic skis, and then on, they'll test leading up to the race, and then on the race day, maybe they'll narrow it down to 1 or 2 pairs, and then pick that best pair for the day. So ultimately, it's picking the weapon for the day. What ski are you going to have? What ski is going to maximize your performance for that snow type, track condition, weather, etc.
Right. Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into.
There's a lot that goes into it. Yeah. But ultimately, we've done the same thing. So the ski's built the exact same way. Yeah. Goes through the digital process. There's a slightly, you see this information on these silver stickers. There's a lot of information there. But this is that genetic code of the ski that we've decided at this level, we're going to showcase it. We're going to show what goes into making this ski. But ultimately, this is really used just in the matching process.
Okay.
So every ski, when they come out, this ski and the one behind it would have had their own sticker, and then they've been matched in behind the scenes to find the perfect mate. So even though they were made together, doesn't mean that they're actually a pair. They go on to the general wall, and then they actually get matched digitally after the fact. Okay. And once they do, then they get the serial number. We'll take the stickers off the other ski because there's always subtleties and we don't want to confuse the customer. And then we've summed up all this information right onto our My Custom Ski sticker.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this one would be pretty good for me.
There you go.
Between a 172 and a 185.
Yeah. And then ultimately we've this value on the top left of the ski, 78.3.
Okay.
That's your recommended skier weight, which actually matches up with right in the middle of that gray box.
Gotcha.
So you don't need to really focus on this. This is really just parameters of how the ski is built in terms of characteristics, because we've taken all this information and summed it up into a very simple, easy to read format.
Interesting.
So from the S-Lab, take down to the S-Race, we have the same Nomex core. The other thing we have is the carbon cap technology. So on the S-Lab, you got a carbon cap from tip to tail. Okay, so that final layer is all carbon fiber. Bikers love carbon fiber.
Yeah, they do.
That's definitely something you can relate to.
So you can have carbon fiber for much less on a good pair of skis.
There you go. Yeah. So maximizing weight reduction and just control stability is you're going to get maximum responsiveness from that carbon cap over the final top layer.
Right.
On the S-Race, we've taken that carbon cap, we've put it where it matters the most. We've put it in the tip and put it in the tail of the ski. So you're getting that lightweight, maybe not so much of a factor on classic skis, but more so on skate skis. That swing weight is reduced, and still with the Nomex core as well in the S-Race. Only one flex available in the S-Race, and that's the universal flex. Okay, no warm, no cold. It will still work. It's very universal in terms of use, but ultimately we're going to stick to that universal flex here. And then S-Max is probably my favorite ski of the bunch. I ski a lot on the S-Max, skate or classic ski. It skis just like the upper levels, the S-Lab ski. Slight weight penalty because we go to a synthetic core. This is actually an interesting core on the S-Max. We go to this really cool, it's a recycled sustainable core. So in every ski S-Max, there's 9 recycled plastic bottles. Isn't that cool? And then they've kind of wrapped it around with that Densolite, that synthetic core that's in the rest of the range. So you're getting a bit of a sustainable story. You're helping the earth get rid of those pesky plastic bottles. G5 base and carbon on the tip and tail, but with that synthetic core. So slight weight penalty, but skis, same mold that they use right from the top.
So same core, and then And
carbon tip tail.
Carbon tip tail on this one. Yeah.
On the S-Max S
and
Race.
then this one has that special pop bottle core.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're going with, on the classic side, the same blue E-skin, waxable obviously on the S-Lab here, and movable binding, shift binding as well.
Gotcha.
There you go. Some fast boards ready to go.
Nice. All right, so we're going to talk about skate skis.
Skate skis, yes.
Okay, so what I remember is being very excited about figuring out that I could skate on my old 3-pin.
That must have been a lot of work.
Of course it was, but it was faster than what I was doing before. So what we've got are skis designed for skate skiing.
Yeah, and so now that you know the fundamentals a little bit, and we talked, there's a lot good that goes into classic skis and how they're built and the different factors, etc. And so skate skis is much easier from all perspectives. So here, general, sizing a skate ski will be a little shorter, a little stiffer as well, because we're pushing laterally a lot like an ice skating motion. There's no kick involved. You're literally just gliding all the time. So the ski is built based on glide efficiency. All right.
Okay.
So we want a lightweight product. It's going to be a straight cut ski so that it glides as efficiently as possible. Usually getting a better base quality for the most part as well. And so as such, as soon as you get that base quality up in terms of glide efficiency, the price will go up. So as a general rule, a skate package will be more expensive starting off than a classic.
Okay. Because they're just better skis.
There's more, in order to maximize that efficiency, there's more technology, there's better, like I said, the biggest component is the base and the core to make it light and glide easier. So the price is going to go up by default. Okay. And that's across the board, every brand.
Gotcha.
Starting things off, great value here in the RS8. It's one of my favorite skis on this end. Why? Because we give it a G5 base. So we're giving that World Cup level S-Lab ski base, same base that we'd have on those skis, right down to the RS8. Okay. So ultimately, skate skis, like I said, a little bit stiffer as well in the camber and how they're built. You're never going to compress that ski, so a little easier to size actually, because we don't need to flatten that ski. We want to make sure there's a lot of spring-loaded feature in it, so the camber is actually a little higher, a little stiffer as well. So even if you jump on one ski, if my weight is distributed evenly and I'm shifting my weight onto that one ski, you are not going to get contact. So if we did that, the paper test is kind of useless on skate skis, is what I'm getting at. Okay. And the sizing is much easier with skate skis in that there's a huge margin of error. So you'll often look at the sizing on this little My Custom Ski sticker here, and it's a huge range. On this one, for example, it's going from 50 to 70 kilo. That's a 20 kilo spread.
Right, 110 to 154 pounds.
Yeah, it's huge.
Right.
And honestly, it's that easy. You are in the gray box in that size from 110 to 154. This ski will work for you, no question. Okay. So pretty easy when it comes to skate skis. All that time we spent talking about classic skis and sizing properly, and skier, ski knows your weight, doesn't know how tall you are. Doesn't matter. For skate, you're in the dark zone, you're in the money. Okay.
Great.
So pretty easy from that perspective. So what do you get as you're going up the range here? Well, just like all the fundamentals I talked about, synthetic core on all three of these darker skis here. S-Race will get that fancy Nomex paper fiber core. Okay. Carbon fiber tip tail for that easy swing weight. Yep. We switched to synthetic cores on these guys, so a little bit of weight penalty. However, you're still getting a product that glides really, really well on snow. Okay. S-Max, still maintaining that carbon cap on the tip and tail, so nice swing weight. G5 base. RS10, taking a same G5 base, but taking away the carbon cap on the tip and tail. Okay. All right. And then RS8, going to just a fiberglass or carbon laminate top sheet on this one. with that same G5 base as well. So
Okay.
a little bit more subtle on the skate side, but ultimately, really it's weight and responsiveness on snow that changes as you go up the range.
Right. As a beginner, you might actually do better on an RS8 or an RS10.
Yeah.
Just because your technique is going to be a little bit more sloppy.
Yep.
And
Exactly. And skating requires a little bit more technical ability for sure. So don't get discouraged. On skate skis, it's not super easy. So the first time you're out there, you're just battling balance, just trying to feel comfortable on skis. And then as you get out 2, 3, 4 times, then that's when, once your balance is settled, then you can start working on technique. So always good to, but yeah, the RS8, RS10, great value in terms of skate skis. Nice and stiff and responsive, and you're going to glide really well even at the entry level into the skate world. Okay?
Great.
And match that up with boots that have, again, good power transfer, and it kind of just works along the same where the higher you go, the more performance you get, and a little bit more carbon added on to the mix as well to keep it nice and whizzy.
Okay, well, since we're looking here, what makes skate boots different for these guys?
The skate boots, actually, we match them up easily right to the name of the ski. So we've got a RS8 ski matched up with
I think by chance I've got an RS10 here.
There you go.
Okay.
So we actually have all the name of our boots match up with the names of our skis, funny enough.
Okay.
Who would have thunk? Eh?
What?
So we have a RS8 boot, which will kick you off in the skate world. It's a great boot, nice all-rounder, and it matches its namesake in terms of performance. RS10 skate ski matched up with an RS10 skate boot. So here you get into great control stability, nice new cuff, a little bit more streamlined design. Composite heel cuff and outsole, so maximize that power transfer. 200-gram thin slide, because we all know in Winnipeg you need all the warmth you want. So, and it is a performance fit. So still, actually, we call it performance, but it's still a lot of room in the toe box in there to keep few air pockets and trap that warm air. But ultimately, a nice warm performance boot.
Yeah.
And finally is the custom fit material, so thermomoldable material in sort of everything that's covered up in my hands here will mold shape to your foot, take away the hot spots, pressure points, the more you ski on it. So after 2, 3 times, it's kind of molded to your foot shape.
Oh, interesting.
They don't pack in a ton, and they just kind of take the shape a little bit and feel so that you can really maximize that performance, that kick right into your glide. So kind of a perfect match for the RS10. And you can, if you appreciate the fit of this boot, you can certainly match it with an RS10, an RS8. You can match it up with an S Max or even an S Race for that matter. So all the skate boots are pretty versatile, and that way you can kind of pick something that one fits your foot, but also matches your budget as well.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay.
And the reason why you wouldn't use a skate boot with a classic ski?
Good question.
Because we had this question came in this week.
Okay. So a couple reasons for that. Skate boots are built like ice skates, so very, very stiff, and that's to maximize that push off, kind of like you're ice skating, right? You're going from side to side. In classic skiing, we're walking on skis, kind of like snowshoeing, kind of like, we might be shuffling a little bit, but that walking motion is what makes...
You need a bit of a rocker.
You need that flex in the toe, a little bit of flex, more so on performance. Recreational skiers would have generally a stiffer boot to add that stability. Okay. But in this case, I cannot bend this boot, so that's definitely too stiff. So you won't be maximizing your kick quality. When you transfer your weight and try to put your weight down, it's being distributed over the whole surface of the boot, and you just won't get that closure. So ultimately, you might just backslip too much. Okay?
Gotcha.
And risk potentially damaging your skate boot, ultimately.
Right.
So we do make combi boots that are sort of a combo. It's a high cuffed boot with a flexible outsole, so that
Yeah.
can be a good solution.
Okay.
The R Combi or the Pro Combi are awesome boots on
Yeah.
that end, and work as a good in between. They can be a great classic boot with a little extra ankle support.
Okay.
Or they can be a entry into the skate boot
Gotcha.
worlds as well. So a good way to save a few bucks as well on the combi boots.
Right.
Okay.
Perfect. Phil, thanks so much for your time here. We went way longer
Yeah.
than what we were planning to, but I think this is really great content for staff, and I think I may share some of this with our
Yeah,
customers
by all
too.
means. Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, looking forward to a great winter out there.
It will be.
There you go.
It'll be better now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Phil.